From WFRV TV, Local 5, serving Northeast Wisconsin, including Green Bay, Fox Cities, and the Lakeshore. This is Newsmaker Sunday.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us for Newsmaker Sunday. I'm Tom Zalaski. Well, as we head into summertime, a lot of cities in our viewing area are planning several big events, and they're also continuing with some major projects. And throughout the summer, we plan on checking in with some of those city officials for updates on their respective cities. And today, our focus is on Appleton. And who better to talk about Appleton and all things Appleton than Mayor Jake Woodford. Good to have you back, Mayor.
Good to be with you, Tom.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to start out with not getting into so much the nuts and bolts of things, but Mayor Jake, you just won re-election, another 4-year term. Yeah. What's different about the current Mayor Jake Woodford as opposed to the first term Jake Woodford?
Well, there are a few, I would say, circumstantial differences.
Okay.
First term, I was elected in April of 2020. So right as the pandemic was getting going, and so we had layers of crisis in the first couple of years. And just learning a new organization, becoming familiar with all of the operations and systems and people. And so starting out a second term, I don't have to do that. I don't have to. Sure. I don't have to learn, where the bathroom is. And so it's been great that way. And the first term was so valuable in so many ways in terms of building strong connections in the community and either restarting, reinvigorating projects, setting things in motion to get them done. And so I start the second term, and we are starting out these 4 years with a lot of momentum behind us, and that is really exciting.
As you well know, Trump administration has changed a lot of things about the way the federal government deals with state and local governments. Yeah. Has that affected you yet? Has it trickled down yet, or has not there been enough time?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest impact in the short term has been the level of uncertainty and anxiety, and I would say the divisiveness of the conversations that are happening, not only nationally, but how that trickles down locally and affects us in our communities. That's the biggest effect on the whole, but we're also monitoring various grant programs and trying to sort out, okay, where is this money going to come from now? We're watching a couple of grants related to public health and emergency preparedness and management with questions about what's going to happen there. Mm-hmm. But this also is about money that was already appropriated by acts of Congress and approved through the federal process, like our transit center.
Right.
And we've been struck by the lack of clarity around what's happening with process, who's making decisions, and when we can expect to get that money so we can get going on that transit center project downtown, for example. And so I would say the other major effect is just the level of uncertainty that is being created by policy is extraordinary. And it's impacting not only us in local government, but when I talk to home builders, when I talk to developers, when I talk to entrepreneurs, everyone is trying to sort of hedge because we're not sure what's going to happen next. Are there going to be tariffs today and then not tomorrow? Are we going to be able to have the workforce that we need to get this work done? Lots of uncertainty. And what's also striking to me is so much of that uncertainty is being created by policy decisions rather than necessarily forces that are outside of anybody's control.
You just mentioned home builders. Talk about Appleton and home building. You've got a lot of new residential units going up.
A lot.
Yeah.
We have a lot of development happening, residential development happening in the city of Appleton. And this connects to housing affordability, which has been a front and center issue since I took office and since before. It's only intensified in communities like Appleton, concerns around affordability. So in the city of Appleton, we're trying to work this problem from a number of different angles. I don't believe that there's a one-size-fits-all answer to addressing housing affordability. There's a time and a place for supportive housing and subsidized housing, but also when we talk about the macro economy, we have a supply issue when it comes to housing. So the lack of supply is naturally driving up the cost because demand is very high and growing, because the average household size in the United States continues to decrease. So as household sizes decrease, because you might say, how are we putting more pressure on demand if we're hearing also that birth rates are really planed off and we're below the rate of replacement? Well, that's because the average household size in the United States is decreasing. So we're adding enormous pressure on demand, and we have underbuilt housing in this country for over a decade now. Yeah. So it takes a long time to write this course, but we are making progress again on a number of fronts. So we've just had 2 significant annexations of land coming into the city of Appleton. That'll drive additional single-family home development, but also a lot of infill multifamily development at a number of different price points. So when we talk about different price points, you have market rate at that high end, whatever the market will bear. You have workforce housing kind of in the middle that doesn't quite meet definitions of affordability, but for most folks they can afford that kind of housing. And then of course subsidized housing where we're making direct investments. We believe that we need to hit the mark on all segments of the market if we're going to make progress on affordability, and we've been doing just that. So our target is to add at least 300 units of new housing a year.
Wow.
And last year was the first where we met that target. We're going to continue to make a hard push to add more housing supply because we believe ultimately that's going to help with affordability.
We have much more to come with Appleton Mayor Jake Woodford right after this, so please stay right there. Our guest this morning on Newsmaker Sunday, Appleton Mayor Jake Woodford, talking about what's happening in his fair city. Tell me about the South Point Commerce Park. What's happening there? Yeah,
so South Point Commerce Park is one of our newer commerce parks, business and industrial, really. Right. So light manufacturing, and this is on the south side of the city. Many acres of developable land. We've done really well on our sale of land in South Point Commerce Park over the last few years, and recently we started into the next phase, laying in new infrastructure to make way for additional development within South Point Commerce Park. This is just huge for our local economy because we are measured really by state policy on the basis of what they call net new construction. And so we talked earlier about single-family home development, which is really important for adding to our housing supply in the city. But when we talk about really moving the needle on net new construction, large commercial buildings help us tremendously with adding to the tax base in our community, which also mitigates the taxes that all of us in the community bear. So we've made great progress in South Point, a lot of great businesses, and in addition, last year we created a new nature conservancy right on the edge of South Point Commerce Park that sets aside about 40 acres of mixed hardwood that will be a conservancy in perpetuity. So we're trying to keep a good balance even as we add industrial.
Let me switch to another topic here. Downtown in Appleton, the lane change, traffic pattern configuration, the experiment, we'll call it. Yeah. How is it going?
Yeah. I think experiment's fair. In common council parlance, maybe a pilot, but really, a test of a concept. And the idea was to take 4 lanes and consolidate into 3. And you might say, well, how is that going to help traffic flow? Fewer lanes. And actually, what we've seen is just empirically, it has made a positive impact on the community. It's reduced the number of crashes. It's maintained and in some cases improved the transit time from one end of College Avenue to the other. It's helped us address some of the problematic driving behavior that we were seeing on College Avenue. And meanwhile, our parking meter utilization downtown is up. So more people are parking using the meters. And so the council not too long ago actually ratified this change and made it permanent. So now we're out of the pilot. This is the way it is now. And just I think a credit to the work of our engineering team in the Department of Public Works, our traffic division, because it is very complicated to set up all of the light timing involved with the reconfiguration. And so it is a bit of a Swiss watch, but they've done an amazing job, and I think this is why the lane reconfiguration ultimately was successful.
Sure.
Because in 1967, when College Avenue went to 4 lanes, lights kind of ran on manual timers, and so it was very different technologically. But it's amazing what we can do now.
It worked. All right.
It worked.
You've got a new renovated library. Finally, the project completed.
Yes. You talk about the difference between first and second term. That is one. I'm not thinking about the library project anymore. Just get to celebrate our new building. We opened that up in February, and it has been incredible.
What do people see when they go in there? What's in store for folks who haven't seen it yet?
Well, we called it a renovation because technically it was. We used the existing structure, but what folks will experience and are experiencing is effectively a brand new building. And so much more open. We're using space in smarter ways. There's more natural light in the building now, and being a part of a project like this and seeing it from really the drawing board all the way to completion, to me the most satisfying part is seeing people in the community now coming into the building, and our staff and our patrons are bringing it to life, and they are creating the library experience together, and that's what it's about. That's why we do these projects, and it really is special. So if you haven't had a chance to come and check out the library, please do.
We have much more to come with Mayor Woodford from Appleton right after this, so please stay with us. And we are back with this week's Newsmaker Sunday guest, Appleton Mayor Jake Woodford. You've got another big project on the horizon here. Your proposed $25 million Valley Transit Center. What's the latest on that?
Yeah, as we were discussing earlier with respect to federal grants, what's happening now is we're trying to figure out when the money's going to come.
Okay.
The city of Appleton was awarded a grant. Was formerly known as the RAISE grant, now called the BUILD grant, and it's gone through another set of review at the federal level, and we had a great conversation with Congressman Weed about this, and his staff has been working with us, try and get us answers and keep this moving. But that's really where we sit. We have a developer partner on board and ready to go. The concept here would build a new transit center on the ground floor that would actually enclose the platform space. So right now our buses pull into a transit center with a building situated in the middle and a ring of stalls around it for the buses.
Yep.
This new concept actually encloses that platform space so people aren't waiting outside in the elements while they're waiting for a connection and getting on their buses. It also will improve the look and feel of the neighborhood. In addition, there would be a proposed public plaza between the transit center and the library. And because we're building a transit center, we're building a footprint, we're doing the site prep, we want to make use of what's above, which is air. And so we want to add housing above the transit center, which is why we're working with a developer partner who would build housing units, and many housing units above the transit center. Takes advantage of a great site in our downtown. It's connected to transit. It's also right next door to an existing parking facility with 1,200 stalls. So lots of great opportunity through public-private partnership. And so we really just need the federal government to come through on their commitment to helping us get this project off the ground. But we're just about ready to go, and really excited about the opportunity. I think It ties in nicely with the work we've done in the College North neighborhood with the Appleton Public Library as a centerpiece, but then additional housing being built by another developer, this transit center. We're really starting to see this neighborhood come together, but this is a key piece.
Another big project, development of Thrivent's 600-acre campus north of 41. What's the latest on that?
Yes, so Thrivent has been at that site since the late 1970s, right. And it's 600 acres of land. Years ago, the company started the process of exploring what they could do with that land, and I think there are many ways that a landowner can choose to deal with land if they want to sell it. And to Thrivent's credit, what they've done is really step into this process and invest in it because they want it done well and they want it done right. And so they've been working with us. They've been gathering input from the community, from neighbors, and they have a great master developer on board, and they're working their way through a process to plan out effectively a brand new neighborhood within the city of Appleton. So a mix of different uses, commercial, residential, some office, some public programming space, and then single-family residential development on the north end abutting the existing neighborhoods. So it's been a very thoughtful process so far, and where we are now in this process is working our way through all of the conceptual design work and the financial analysis that goes in. So it'll be a bit yet before shovels are in the ground, but it's been a great process. We have good partners that we're working with in Thrivent, and Land by Label, their master developer, and so more to come on this, but we're excited about the prospect of seeing 600 acres of land developed. That's extraordinary for a community of Appleton's size.
Yeah. How important is it for Appleton to have that new Lundgaard Park? Mitch Lundgaard, of course, the firefighter, struck down in the line of duty, and now a park in his name.
Yeah. When I first took office, we were coming up on the first anniversary of Mitch's line of duty death, and I was looking for a way to appropriately memorialize him and honor his sacrifice for our community. And there are lots of ways communities can do this, but after learning more about Mitch, who he was and what he was about, I just could think of no more fitting way to honor him than to name a park. Parks are about vibrancy and activity and family, and that's very much who he was. And it just so happened, and I think as fate would have it, Appleton had land set aside for a proposed park. It had been in an old plan for 20 years, right next to Fire Station 6 up on the north side. So we set to work, and with the support of the Appleton Common Council, the Friends of the Appleton Fire Department, our fire department team, and of course Parks and Recreation, we put together a design, and we got input from all of those folks, including Mitch's family. And we got that playground in last year, and the next phase of this project is starting. It's just getting underway, but we'll be building a pavilion out at the park, and that'll really get us to, I would say, substantial completion of the park.
Sure.
So it's been incredible to see this really living memorial come together, and to hear the input from people in the community, how special the park is itself, how much their kids are enjoying it, and again, we can design great things and we can build wonderful stuff, but it is seeing people actually use it and experience it and bring it to life that is so meaningful to me. And I'm just thrilled that the park has turned out as well as it has, and
it did.
It's got to have, I think, the tallest slides we have in the city of Appleton. They're really up there. So if your kids are into slides, check out Lundgaard Park up on the north side.
Great project. We are back to wrap up with Mayor Woodford right after this, so please stay with us. Back now with Appleton Mayor Jake Woodford, talking everything Appleton. We got summertime coming up. Appleton always has some big events going on. What do you have coming up this summer?
Lots of events to experience in our community, from civic and cultural organizations that are hosting annual events to the Thursday night concert series downtown. So lots of familiar favorites over the course of the summer, and then of course the city is sponsoring a number of different events, particularly through our Parks and Recreation department. We've got Kids Fun Run June 19th and July 20th, Movies on the Hill June 29th and August 7th. This program Flicks and Sips, July 11th to September 13th. The Playground Fair is always a big deal, July 24th and 25th. And then U.S. Venture Children's Week, July 20th to the 26th, and that includes the Children's Parade. And on top of that, we have Mile of Music, of course, and our Independence Day celebration on July 3rd in Memorial Park. So it's a active time, it's vibrant, and we're really excited coming into the summer. I'd say my encouragement to people is check out an event you've never been to. You might meet new people, learn something new, try some new food, and we're blessed to live in a place like Appleton and really throughout the Fox Cities and the entire viewing area.
Yeah.
We have great events, good people, good community, and now's the time to really savor that.
And with about 30 seconds to go here, a shameless plug for our Appleton Flag Day Parade on June the 14th.
Looking forward to it.
Oldest Flag Day parade in the nation. How important is that to have that in your city?
It is incredible. The Flag Day Parade is one of my favorites. We, of course, are coming right off the Memorial Day Parade when we get into Flag Day. And it's just so good to get together with community and celebrate what it means to be Americans and be together as a community. So looking forward to it.
We will see you there.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Mayor Woodford, thanks so much for being with us this morning. Much appreciated. And if you have a newsmaker in your town who you think we should have on this program, let us know about it. Send us an email to tips@wearegreenbay.com, or you can message us on Facebook. And be sure to join us once again Sunday morning at 7:30. Until then, have a great day.